Hi guys, welcome back to Stories from My Life, the part of some magical story time where I share you stories from my life and may exaggerate parts of them. Now, the last time I told you a story from when I was in year 6, and that was for most of the year with that ogre teacher. But how about we do a prequel of sorts to that story, set 3 years beforehand? So 1995, and it's set on the playground at Riverside School. And it's the story of the day that I first met the boy who would at that time become my best friend, Daren Stratton. So the way we both remember this is it was during a school playtime. That's what we call recess here in the UK, by the way, for those of you in the US who don't know. Yeah, so it was during a school playtime. I was over the other side of the playground hanging out with classmates when I look over to a wall to see a boy sitting there having a bad day and crying. So I go over to introduce myself to him and ask him what was the matter. He tells me that he is having a bad hair day and he has no friends, and his name is Daren Stratton. I tell him my name is James Barrett. I took him under my wing and became his first, and at the time and for many years after that, only friend. No, I didn't do it out of pity. I did it because I genuinely wanted to do it. And our friendship from that day on started to grow ever stronger. Because he himself even had run-ins with angry ogre teachers who didn't understand his condition. Now, he's autistic like me, by the way. And he has Asperger's syndrome, which was diagnosed when he was about 1.5 years old. So I didn't know this at the time though. And over the years, since 1995, we would go through a lot together, a heck of a lot. Now, I can't help but feel he should be here with me telling the story, because the story only starts in 1995. We're now going to jump forward. Yes, that's right. We're now going to jump forward 4 years to 1999, when he was having the same problems with the same teacher. Only she got upset with him for getting upset in the first place, and he couldn't help it because of his condition. So every time he got upset and threw a wobbler, he got punished for it. So this proves what a bitch that teacher really was. It was the same teacher who had a go at me for making simple mistakes. So yeah, and not being allowed to go swimming, and not being allowed to go to the outdoor centre for the rest of a week. But she was having a go at him for just getting upset, which happened frequently, by the way. And he would go off into his own world during classes quite a bit by pretending to have phone calls. Yeah. Literally, I would sit next to him in class, and at some point during the day, he would make a phone ringing sound and pretend to answer a phone call. So, yeah. I saw no problem with this. I actually thought it was quite fun, imagining who he might be pretending to talk to. So, but the teacher, on the other hand, just saw it as him being an idiot and complained to us about it during the point giving at the end of the day. Like, chillax, woman. Surely you should have known the boy was autistic and just let him get on with it. Again, this was at the time I was still his only friend, by the way. And even though I was quick to accept any apology he might give for getting upset, by the way, Daren, if you're watching this, and I hope you are, that wasn't your fault. Don't go thinking it was. So, and yeah. I'm not going to go actually imitating any of the tantrums he may have had during this time. But the teachers, in their infinite wisdom, decided to get a tape recorder and record him having one of these fits. Now, what type of teacher would be cruel enough to do that to a pupil who is obviously upset? They shouldn't be doing that, and someone should have gone and reported those teachers to the saintly headmaster. So, and I really did think that my old primary school headmaster was a saint. So yeah, you know, I'll tell you about him in a later story. So, now, so we covered 1995, we've covered 1999. What's next for Daren's story with him and our friendship? We're gonna jump ahead again now to 2000 when he first started at Glenwood, our old secondary school, by the way. I was year 8 at the time he was starting year 7, and by the way, year 8 is what you out there in the US may call the 7th grade. So, because it's the same age group, 12 to 13 year olds. And I was in the technology teachers tutor group. Now, I'm not going to go into the reasons why that was, because this is to do with my friendship with Daren. Now, all the while we were at the same school together at Glenwood, we would stick up for each other whenever we saw the other person getting bullied. And yes, Daren frequently suffered from upset at Glenwood as well, but I was never there to see it. So, except for when we were both on the receiving end of getting bullied. He got it more than I did, though, because of his condition not being understood at the time. I didn't even understand what made him do it at the time either, because that would actually come 9 years later, in 2009, when I was browsing Facebook and came across a post on there by Daren explaining the situation, that he had Asperger's syndrome. And I didn't know that until then, and we were 14 years into our friendship. So, yeah, I know, as with any friendship story, just starting out. So now we've moved through the years up until 2009, which would be when we first started actually being able to see each other properly. Now, in 2001, he paid a brief visit to our house during that summer, a surprise visit. In 2005, I actually had him round for a proper visit, and this is when the first time we'd ever hung out properly outside of school happened. Well, I'd already left school by that point, and Daren was year 11. Probably about a couple of months away from leaving. It was around April. So I was nearing the end of my first year of college by that point. By the way, at that point in school, at that point here, we left school at 16. And our colleges don't offer degrees. So, yeah. So, that's universities over here. Anyway, I'm now going to jump ahead to 2010 when me and Daren first started properly hanging out. The first time we ever did this properly, he lived at a place called Chaucer Close at the time, which was a halfway house, and I would go there for sleepovers and to hang out with him and other people I knew who lived there also. And we would actually start hitting the road and travelling to places in 2010 as well. He was at Chaucer Close for a couple of years, and he moved to flat 11 Maple House in Havant in 2012, where he then stayed, where I would go to visit him and have frequent sleepovers. And now here's an interesting part of the story. In 2015, now I should point out, in 2014, Daren joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormons, and we would start talking about it. And in 2015, for whatever reason, I decided to pull the trigger and join it myself. And I asked him to do all the baptizing and the confirming of membership and the ordination to the Aaronic priesthood. And I would be there diligently every week doing stuff. And, well, I'm going to get away from that now, because this is about mine and Daren's friendship. In 2016, he moved from Maple House to where he is now, Chapel House, flat 9. And I shouldn't have said that, but it's where he is now. I helped him to move in, as did another friend of ours, John Turnbull, and a neighbour whose name I shall actually leave private. I should have left the other friend's name private as well. And being the good friend that I was, of course I was willing to help him move in. But it was a long, hard job. But I didn't complain once. Anyway, to thank us for helping him to move in, he invited us to stay for a takeaway that evening. I know, this story started out with the origins of mine and Daren's friendship, and now it's gone through quite a few years of story of our friendship. Now, I was there to see him graduate from both his university courses as well. From 2010 to 2013, he was on the bachelor's course at the University of Portsmouth. He started out as a computer science student and then switched to computing because he wasn't doing well in computer sciences. And he would take me for regular visits to the chaplaincy at the Nuffield Centre. And he would introduce me to a lot of his lecturers and all the chaplains. And at the time of his first graduation, when I was helping him actually prepare to graduate, one of the lecturers on that course, Alice Good, I'll mention it here, actually offered me a place on the same course. I'm not joking. But mine and Daren's friendship, to close off this story, has gone through some trials and tribulations over the years, and we've grown stronger because of them. So, this is more of a friendship story than an origin story to our friendship. So, I'm going to end it here. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time.